Hello and welcome to episode 278 of the Wisdom and the Tangents podcast. I'm your host, John Mansfield, and today I have a fun episode. We're talking all about film photography today. Every month in the Patreon community, I go live and you ask questions and I answer whatever you ask. And it's something called Ask Away. In March, we did this, and a lot of the questions that y'all sent in were very film-based, so I decided to just answer the film photo questions, and then the others I will get to this month, which, by the way, April's Ask Away is going to be on Friday, and yes, that is not in April anymore. I forgot that April only has 30 days, and I was planning the last Friday of the month to be the 31st. So April's Ask Away will be May 1st. But join us over on Patreon. It is available for every tier, including the free tier. So you can just create an account and join us live over there and ask your questions. Or you can submit a question wherever, and I will be answering it over there. So before we get into the Ask Away from March, I did want to plug the Patreon. If you're not part of that community yet, you should definitely go join. You can get a week trial for free. It's also like the price of a cup of coffee for an entire month. So it's pretty reasonable. And you get to support this podcast and support me and support my coffee addiction. But yeah, I've got a ton of videos on there already. Obviously, ad-free episodes of this podcast that you can stream to whatever podcast streamer you listen to your podcasts in. And then also I've got image breakdowns and lighting techniques, and we go through, I've done a few different pricing critiques and portfolio critiques and website critiques. In May, we're going to be starting a challenge for like revamping your social media and your website, and it's going to be a weekly challenge where you can meet up with me. You can also do this for free on the free tier if you're not part of Patreon, but it will be in the paid tier where we dive way deeper into what we're doing and why we're doing it and how it will be attracting your dream clients. So go check that out on Patreon, Wisdom and the Tangents Wit Pod. It's linked in the show notes. But now let's get into the March Ask Away. I got a lot of film-related questions, which is great. So we can start with some film. But yeah, if you don't know yet, if you're watching this live, I'm John Mansfield. I am the host of the Wisdom and the Tangents podcast. I'm also a photography coach and help people like yourself to build your business, create community, and just live the life that you've always dreamed of. I'm also a wedding photographer, commercial photographer. I have cameras and things behind me, which we're going to be looking through, because one of the questions was, I want to get into film photography, but I don't know what camera to get. And that is, it's a really, that kind of stops a lot of people, because it's just like, I don't know. How do I know that the camera that I'm going to get is going to provide the type of images that I'm wanting from film? That's why you ask the questions. So I'm going to share some of my favorites and some like good low entry point cameras. So the best low entry point cameras are what they call toy cameras or plastic cameras. I've got a couple here. These are some of my favorites. This one is my absolute favorite. It is the Holga
120N. I think you can get the 120 like NB or something like that, and it has a built-in flash on top, and that is very helpful. But this is it's plastic. Do some little. You can hear that's plastic. There's no film in here right now, but this takes medium format film and it just goes straight across the back. So if this is the larger format, and you can like put I have the little square that was in the middle, kind of shrinks each frame to where it's not a square, but it is more, it's actually like a 4x3, which is what Instagram posts are now, which is nice. So it shoots vertically on this 4x3 with that insert, and then I can shoot, you probably can't see this at all, 16 frames. Or you can pop it down to 12 frames, and this just has the window here where you can see the little film lines, and it says, you're at your shot number 1, frame number 2, all of those things. But yeah, I really love this one. It is fully mechanical. There's no batteries. There's nothing in here. This is the shutter, and you can change from like portrait, which is pretty much like focuses around 3 feet away from you, to landscape, which is more of the infinite focus, but you're not going to be in focus if you're shooting 3 feet away from you. It's more like 10 feet and beyond. But I love it. It's really great. It shoots at, I think, f8. It shoots at, yes, shoots at f8. So it's very similar to like a point and shoot, like disposable camera type lens. But that camera is, I think like $30 to $60, maybe. It's been years since I bought one, so I don't really know what it is now. But I love that one for medium format. They also have a 35 millimeter version. And if you're like, what is this, John? What's medium format? What's 35 millimeter? Let me show you. This is 35 millimeter. Comes in a little canister thing. You probably recognize this. It's like the emoticon or emoji on the phone. But this is 35 millimeter. You normally get like 24 to 36 frames. I have 36 exposures there. And then medium format is these bigger ones. I'm not going to open it up, but this is what it looks like on the inside once it has been shot. But yeah, it's a much larger film, which goes into the larger film cameras, the medium format, instead of the 35 millimeter toy camera. Also, plastic. This one also does not have film in it. Just had to double check. But I really like this. It is very tight, very compact. You just pop it in here, and then it's shutter. Yeah, it's not as cool sounding, but you do crank it just like a disposable camera. I really like this one. It's the Reto Ultrawide and Slim. And yeah, it's got a very wide angle lens. I think it's I don't know what the degree is, but it's wide angle. It's really nice. I like to take it on like family photo shoots. I will give it to the kids. It is plastic, so if they drop it, it's really not damaging much. Although they did damage my my little wind up rewind to rewind the film, so I have to keep that taped because it will just open up, which is not great for film. So maybe don't give it to the kids. to play. But I really like that one. It gets some cool shots, and it's 35 millimeters, so you get like that 36 exposure. Another one is this one. I think this was like maybe $100. Everyone says it looks like a submarine. I think so too. It looks pretty cool. But this is also fully mechanical. It is 35 millimeter, but instead of that very small area, we're getting this whole thing. So this whole area here gets exposed to the light, and then you get this wide panoramic shot. It also exposes the sprockets, which is how the film moves forward. These guys on the top and the bottom, so you get those cool black sprocket holes in the scans, and it's fun. But yeah, each of these are like $100 or less. Great entry point, very easy. We'll do the shutter for this one. It's like a solid. Oh boy. But yeah, a very, very low entry point. The only thing is these do have a very high f-stop. So if you're wanting to shoot low light stuff, you're going to have to get a flash, which this one, the Sprocket Rocket and the Holga, both have hot shoes on there so that you can do... you can throw a flash on there. With the Holga, I will often throw a flash on top and then take it out on the dance floor and get those cool direct flash shots on film. But those are where I would start. And then it's easier to use. It is that point and shoot. It does definitely give you the film look, especially with that really high f-stop. Things are just, they're not going to look too digital. That was one thing that I really didn't like about when I first started shooting film. I was shooting like Portra 800, really fine grain. I was shooting this Yashica twin lens because doesn't it just look? It looks so cool, and you like it's a hip fire. You look down, and it was really nice, but this is, what is this? 2.8. 2.8 f-stop, which is very low for film. So it was like super creamy bokeh, and then the Portra 800, very low grain, very fine grain film. Everything was looking digital. Like it looked like I shot it on a digital camera, and that's not what I wanted. So I don't use this as much as I probably should. And I don't shoot Portra 800 anymore. It's also like $20 a roll. When that'll lead me into my next question, because I got another question about what's my favorite film stock. One of my favorite film stocks is Kodak Gold 200. Not sponsored, but Tim hit me up. It's great, very durable if you drop it. I shoot Kodak Gold 200 for medium format, and then this is also Kodak Gold in the 35 mil. It's great. It keeps those warm tones that I love, and it's 200 ISO. Which is great for midday, and can also be really good for like golden hour into sunset. If you're shooting something not quite like a Holga at f8, shooting at 200 ISO, it's not going to come out too great at sunset. It'll be very dark because you can't. The shutter is just. It's just a shutter. I think it's 1/25th of a second is that shutter. Sprocket Rocket, though, you can switch it to bulb, to where as long as you're holding this down, it is the shutter curtains open. So it's taken in all the light, which I've done some cool long exposures with that guy. But yeah, Kodak Gold is kind of my gold standard. I love it. I keep coming back to it. I've tried a lot. It's also pretty reasonably priced. I think it's like around $10 a roll. So like a 5-pack of medium format will run you about 50-ish bucks, which is not bad at all, especially when I just said Portra 800 is $20 a roll. But yeah, it's good. Obviously Portra 400, Portra 800, that's going to be fan favorites. It's very fine grain. It does give you that more digital look to it. There's also Ektar 100. I don't have any on me, but that's really great, especially for full sun or like an afternoon shoot or something like that. As far as evening, Cinestill 800T is great. It's good. It's 800 ISO. The numbers that go along with it is your ISO. So just like on a digital camera where you're changing your ISO for the intensity of the light that is hitting the sensor, this is the intensity of the light that is hitting your sensor of film. It's going to absorb more light if it is like Cinestill 800 versus an Ektar 100, which would be 100 ISO and absorbing less light. But yeah, Cinestill is great. It gives you that really cool, especially like at night, that really cool like halation, like neon lights, kind of like that reddish glow around lights at night. It's very cool. And then there's a ton of others. I would recommend, if you're getting into film, buy a few. Check them out. See what you like. I would probably recommend getting some of the cheapest film first if you're testing out a camera, because you don't want to shoot a roll of Portra 800 and then find out that your shutter doesn't work, and now you just ruined a whole thing. But yeah, I would get some pretty cheap film, and then test out your camera from that. But yeah, and then as far as other cameras go, you've got like a Nikon FM3. This is the like standard looking metal body film camera. Like a Canon AE-1 is another equivalent. I got this because I can put my Nikon FX lenses on the, do I have film in here? No. On the camera body, which is great. But yeah, those are good. Those are like anywhere from like $150 to $250, usually on eBay or B&H Photo or KEH or something like that. And then those shoot 35 millimeter. And I showed you the Yashica. That was, I think, $350 or so. But yeah, those are some good starter cameras. Hope that answered your question. I feel like I just talked about film for a long time, but hey, y'all are asking questions about film, so I will talk about film. Oh, next question. What do we have here? Have you ever done a soup roll? I haven't. If you don't know what a soup roll is when you shoot a roll and then you make a little soup and you eat the soup, and then it's a fun day. No, you make a soup of a lot of people like throw like leaves and stuff in there. You can sometimes make a tea, and then you pretty much like steep your roll of film in tea or this soup, and the chemicals on the film react to the different things that you have in the soup. I'll throw a few photos up here for later whenever this is video. But Jennifer Lawrence does some really great film soup. So I'll throw a few of her photos up there. Jen's great. She also introduced me to Ektar 100 that I was talking about earlier. Most of her, almost, I would say probably 90% of her photos are shot on Ektar. But yeah, it's just like, it's a chemical reaction between the film and this stuff that you're really not supposed to put on film. And then whenever it gets developed, it has like interesting light leaks or interesting, like almost like an aurora type greenish thing going across it, depending on what you put in your soup for the film. Note on soup rolls, if you are sending your film out somewhere to get developed, make a note, or at least check with them that they do film soup rolls, because it will absolutely ruin your film baths for the development process. So if they're developing other people's film with yours, it can ruin their film, or not ruin it, but it can do the same sort of thing where they're getting the light leaks and stuff that maybe they didn't want. So just let your film lab know that this is a soup roll. It needs to be developed by itself, and usually there's like an upcharge for that, or they'll have like a special every day they do a develop run for just soup rolls if they've got a lot of soupy people. But yeah, I've never done that. I'm interested in it, but I think I'll probably wait until I actually have a dark room and I'm developing myself, because then I can just do it myself, and then I can monitor all that kind of stuff. What is one of the oldest photos you have in your portfolio? Wait, no. What's one of the oldest photos you use in your portfolio still, and why? Ooh. Man, I should have looked at my portfolio. I know I still have some photos in there from I think 2018 might be the oldest photo that I have. I'm trying to think of some older ones, but yeah, there was one. I did an engagement session out at Pedernales Falls in Texas. It's a state park, really cool, and they've got like this very small waterfalls. It's more of just like water going over a rock. It's like where the creek is up here, and then it just goes down a little bit to a lower level creek. But it's really fun. It's some good hikes that aren't like a half day hike to get to a good spot. So I love taking people out there because we can pretty much drive to a good trailhead, and then within a 5-minute walk from the car, we're at a gorgeous place. So this was, yeah, I think it was like fall, maybe like September. That's not really fall here. Yeah, it wasn't super hot. So maybe like October of 2018. And I was out there with a couple, and the sunset was just so vibrant and it was amazing. And I had them walking across from one rock to another rock, and I told them to just hold hands, walk out that way, and I was going to get a couple photos of them, but I also wanted to do some like creative stuff. So I was like, walk out to the rock, then walk back to the rock that you started in, walk back out to the rock again. We'll do that like 3 or 4 times. Y'all just do that, chat while you're doing that. And I'm going to be moving around in weird positions, I'm sure. And they were like, all right, cool. And they just like started walking back and forth. And I got a couple cool, like kind of safe photos. And they were great. of them holding hands, well exposed and all that. And then I noticed a puddle, just kind of like a little pool where the water had come through. It had rained recently, so the water had gone back down since it rained, but there was like a pool in between all these rocks of just very still water. So I got down in an angle and reflected the sunset off the water, and then had them walking across it, and just like a silhouette of them upside down reflected off the sunset water. And it was one of my favorite photos, still one of my favorite photos. So that is still in my portfolio. It's still out there. I will still share it to social media regularly because it's a killer photo, and I was very, very happy that I got that, especially in 2018 when that's 8 years ago. So yeah, I think that's the oldest one. If I find another one, I'll put it up on the screen right here for those watching later. And if not, then that's the oldest one I got. It's either that one or a flower girl, but she was a bubble girl at a wedding, and she was probably like maybe 3 or 4, and she walked down with like one of those guns that blow bubbles. That was probably later than 2018, now that I'm thinking about it. But she like turned toward me, and I like got way down on her level, and then the wind shifted and blew bubbles back into her face, and I snapped a photo, and she's just like eyes squinted. You could see the bubbles all around her and the couple in the background. And that one got like featured in, I don't remember who picked it up. Honestly, it was a long time ago, but it got featured, and I was like, hey, cheers to that. There's another backlink. Another question that I get a lot in the DMs of just like, where do you get your film? Because I know that like Target sells film now. I get my film from the Find Lab. They're a lab in Utah. That's where I send my film to. John Canlis, who is a friend of the show, a friend in real life. He runs the Find Lab, so I send it up to John and the team, and they scan it and everything, and I buy film from them. They are one of the most reasonably priced film not developers, distributors out there. I've checked some local places here in Texas, and the Find Lab is still less expensive, even with shipping, than they are. I think that's it. Like I said, yeah, the Find Lab. I'll link that in the show notes for y'all too. But yeah, and I'll try and get links. I'll have links for all the cameras that I showed and the film stocks and all of that. So I hope you're, Ariel, hope you're having a good day. Thanks for being here. Thanks everyone for listening to the replay. If you're listening to the replay or watching this, next month, whenever this hits the main feed. But yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting this podcast with your views. Thank you for supporting this podcast on Patreon, and keep creating, keep making the world a better place. See you later. Bye, y'all.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Wisdom and the Tangents podcast. As always, you can check out all the things in the show notes at podcast.allheartphoto.com. Like I said, we're going to be doing the April Ask Away on May 1st, this Friday, if you're listening to this the week that it comes out. So you can join us over there. You can submit your questions early on any social media. There will be a post there, or just DM me a question. And I will see you over in the Patreon community. Don't forget about the May challenge to just completely revamp all of your things. That is also going to be over on Patreon. So I will see you next week for another episode. And until then, keep creating and keep making the world a better place. Bye, y'all.